stopping by the channel. My name is Sandy and this is the Sister Cousins Lifestyle channel. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you've seen that I've done my fall entryway, I've done my living room, and I've done my kitchen. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing my dining room table and my bar cart for the fall season. So if you like to see how it all comes together, keep watching. I have this vase here. I got this from Kirkland last year or either the year before, and I'm going to use that on my table in the center. I spared your ears because that thing scraped the table and it sounded awful. This is all the greenery that I've had back there, and I've got some dried eucalyptus and some florals and things. I'm gonna try to make sense out of this. This is called using what you have to create a beautiful look. So we're gonna make some sense out of this mess here. I store my stems either in a box, a storage box, or either in those Dollar Tree bags that I've shared many times. I don't know how these got all tangled and bent all out of shape the way that they have, but that's okay. We're going to use them anyway. They are still just fine. I don't know what this is called. I believe it may be a protea or something like that. I love them. You will see me later on go back in and kind of pull them out and make them a little bit taller. I've got the stem bent a little bit too much, but I'm just trying to shape it as I go along and decide how I want this to look. And I love this droopy floral here. I love that dramatic look here. I've got about 4 or 5 of those stems, so I'm going to try to place all of them to one side just because I want that dramatic effect. All of my florals are either from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or maybe even some from Joann's, but I've had all of these already. I'm sure they still have all of them. They don't tend to change out too much from year to year. And as you can see, you can bring them back to life no matter what shape they're in. So I do like adding to my collection each year just so that I can kind of freshen up a look. But this year I didn't have any new stems for this, so we're just going to go with what we have. I'm liking the way it's coming together, but it's a lot of work and it's just a lot of trial and error. There's no right or wrong. It's just about getting the look that I want. The dried eucalyptus is making a bit of a mess because they are shedding quite a bit. But I'm going to salvage as much of it as I can. A long time ago, I took a floral decorating class, and if my floral instructor could see this now, she would be cringing at what I'm doing here. But it's going to turn out beautifully. I really do like the finished project, but it was rough. It was really rough getting to a point where I really did like it. And I was literally picking scraps of the eucalyptus because it was kind of falling apart. Like I said, it is dried eucalyptus. And so it was just kind of falling and shedding and everything. So I was trying to salvage every piece that I could. I ended up finding these larger florals here that I really, really love the way that they look. I only had 3 of them, but I'm just kind of tucking them in there just to add a nice look. And this is the way that the floral arrangement turned out. I really love the dramatic effect of the flowing. I like the kind of haphazard look of the eucalyptus. I think that this is a really nice centerpiece. So that's all I'm going to do with this table for right now. I'm not going to add any table settings just yet. I'm just kind of going to enjoy the table, kind of bear with just this centerpiece here. I'm still fooling around with these eucalyptus, but yeah, and I'll probably play around with it for another day or two. So now that we're done with that, we're going to go on over here to the bar cart. This is what the bar cart looked like for the summer season. We're going to just go ahead and remove these staghorn stems out of here first, and I'm also going to remove that base. But first, this is a light that I had in this corner here right over my bar cart, and it was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it at all. But if you recall, my lights in my kitchen are these raindrop pendant lights with this shape here, and I absolutely love those. And so I was in Home Goods one day and I saw a light fixture with that same raindrop shape. And I said, do you really need this? I left it the first day. I went back the second day and it was still there. So here it is. It came home with me. That's the moral of the story, or the way that the story turned out. I brought it home with me and I'm really glad that I made that decision. It's all about the details for me. And this just kind of brings that look together with my kitchen lights. So let me go ahead and finish this bar cart by removing everything else off of here and deciding what it is that I'm going to put on here or how I'm going to style it for the fall season. I must say I did enjoy the way that I had it styled for the summer season. So I'm probably not going to do any drastic changes, but I do definitely want it to bring in some elements of fall over here in this area as well. I love the look of an apothecary jar on my bar cart. So I know that this will come back, but I'll just place something that's more appropriate for the season in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these limes, faux limes, over here in this Ziploc bag so that I can go ahead and store them for the winter season. And then I'm going to go ahead and give this bar cart a nice little clean off with some rubbing alcohol just to shine the glass up and make the metal portion of it clean again. It needs it. It just collects so much dust over here. So once we get that cleaned up, then the decorating can begin. At this point, this mirror here is probably the oldest piece of decor that I have in my home. I have had this for at least 10 years now. It was in my other home, and I still absolutely love it. It's very, very dramatic for me, but it's a mirror that I loved at first sight, and I don't see myself ever parting with it. So I'm just going to give it a nice little clean off here, and then we can go ahead and get started for real. I purchased this mirror from Home Goods at least about 10 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that, not quite sure. But yeah, I just love it. This is a ice bucket that I got from the thrift store. It was $2.99, and that's the reason why it had to come home with me at that price. Why not, right? So I just gave it a nice clean off, and I have put it here. I'm going with the black and the brass color for the fall season, just to kind of create a darker look here, more appropriate for the fall season. And I'm definitely bringing back this apothecary jar, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that up with some potpourri, whatever you call it. And I'm going to be kind of selective with what pieces I put in here because I don't want to bring too much of the orange in here. So I'm going to mix a few of the acorns and the pine cones and a couple dried oranges. I actually do like that look. And then I'm going to just put the lid on it. I just like the way that that looks, kind of just a touch of fall here, nothing too over the top. This stuff can be like $10, $15 a bag. So I always look for it at the end of the season and I buy it. And it's still very, very fragrant, even though it was purchased last year at the end of the season from Hobby Lobby. So you just see me just picking out the pieces I want to use. There's a couple cinnamon sticks down in there, just different things. I'm not going to have the advantage of the scent here because I keep the lid on the apothecary jar, but I think it looks nice just the same. So now I'm coming in with some faux oranges and faux apple slices, and I'm just going to fill in like the open spots here so that the jar looks full. I love aromatherapy and I love smell goods around my home, but the scent of this, as much as I like it, it can kind of compete with some of the other scents that I put in my home. So that's one of the reasons why I want this jar to be closed. It's still very, very fragrant, like I said, even though it was purchased a year ago. So now that I have that filled up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring those coupe martini glasses or champagne glasses back in. I got these from CB2 a few months back. I absolutely love them. So I'm just going to leave those out, and that's going to pretty much complete the look of the top of this bar cart. Maybe. You got to stay to the end to see if it does for real. Nope, that was not the end. I did add these cocktail utensils in, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on this beautiful light. I just think it's a beautiful addition for this space. I like it a lot. So yeah, good purchase there. And so yeah, this is what the finished bar cart is looking like. I do not change the bottom. I have my adult beverages on the bottom, and I always keep some glasses down there. So I just dusted that off to make sure that there was no dust accumulating down there. And that was the final look. I hope you enjoyed your visit over here today. And if you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Also, hit that subscribe button if you're not currently subscribed to my channel. I would love it if you would stick around and come back and see what I'd be decorating next in my home. And if you're a returning family member, thank you so, so much for stopping back by. And I hope to see you all over here on my next one. Bye-bye.